The reason you cannot leave someone who's actually really bad for you is probably because of a trauma bond. A trauma bond is not what you think it is. The trauma bond is not, going through something really terrible with someone and bonding over that. A trauma bond is actually an unhealthy emotional connection that a victim gets to their abuser. And if you've seen my last video on reactive abuse, you will be kind of familiar with how the abuse works. In the last video, we went over that a cycle of abuse where there are periods of affection and good days, good times, and then back to the abuse, and then back to the affection, and back to the abuse. That is how a trauma bond gets formed. So this bond is normally due to a power imbalance. It's not because they trust each other or because they mutually respect each other. It's a power imbalance. And normally you see this with partners who stay at home, who feel financially stuck, or partners who are taking care of many small children, one after the other. Many different forms of power imbalances can exist. However, for what we're talking about today, the trauma bond is based on a power imbalance, and it's based on that cycle of abuse and affection. The abuse can be of any kind. It could be psychological, physical, emotional. And then the affection looks like the abuser being kind for a period of time, being remorseful, acting like they really understand and they'll never do it again. So obviously, this is an unpredictable pattern. We don't know, is this going to be a good day? Is this going to be a good moment or a horrible one? We don't really know, and that's why they do it. And that's what forms that trauma bond on part of the victim, because the victim can't easily leave because they're always waiting for that next time, that next moment where the abuser is kind, and they obviously want that. So because the victim holds on to hope for the good time, that's a really powerful thing that keeps them there. If we're looking at it on the physiological level, meaning chemical brain level, when people are scared, worried, nervous, obviously we have a lot of cortisol going through our bodies. And then when we feel things that are pleasurable or happy to us, we release chemicals such as dopamine and serotonin. And that pattern creates a dependency. Not only are we talking dependency between physical one between the people, it's a chemical dependency, like similar to an addiction, right? And that's very dangerous. And the victim's nervous system has literally learned to go to the abuser for their source of relief. The victim has been conditioned, their nervous system has been conditioned to seek the abuser as the source, both of the pain for the cortisol and for the relief of the dopamine, the serotonin. It goes really deep. Here are some signs that you are currently in a trauma bond. One of the signs is justifying the abuse. So the victim might justify or defend the abuser's behavior to other people or to themselves. Another sign is the difficulty to end the relationship. Even though the victim knows, okay, this is not good for me, the fact that they cannot leave, they feel like they cannot leave, that's another sign of a trauma bond. Another sign is that the person tries to isolate you. One way or another, they want you to stop talking to certain friends. They are convincing you that your siblings, your cousins, or anyone close to you is not good for you, or they don't let you hang out with them, or they make it about them, or making you choose between them and other people. If you are finding yourself isolated, that might be another sign that you're in a trauma bond relationship. In a healthy relationship, both people are equal. They can both have lives on their own, and then they have their life together. And that might sound weird if that is not the kind of relationship you've had before or seen before, but it's possible and it's true. Healthy love does not confuse you, does not isolate you. It does not make you feel bad about yourself. Another sign that you're in a trauma bond relationship is gradually just losing who you are, gradually just kind of getting low on yourself. You have low self-worth and you cannot maintain boundaries. Another big sign that this is a trauma bond is if you always think about the relationship or the abuser, you're always constantly thinking about them. That is another sign. Yes, it's possible to get out of a trauma bond. It's possible to heal from them. You're not going to leave and then be healed the next day. It's a process and it's possible. You have to first acknowledge what's happening, what kind of cycle you're in, what kind of relationship you're in, how it affects you, how it affects you, how it affects your body, how it feels to you. Seeking professional help. Although I am a therapist, I am not your therapist. I'm just here to educate and help you gain knowledge to help yourself and seek support. Seeking professional support through therapy groups, setting really firm boundaries, and increasing your support system. Because as we just said, if you're in this type of relationship, you're probably isolated. Increasing your support system will help you on your journey to recovery. If this resonated with you, go ahead and subscribe. I'll be posting this type of content to help educate and inform others about mental health topics, as well as relationship dynamics, and just increase the conversation around what happened a lot of the time, but nobody really talks about.